Say hello to Bec Rawlings. Bec, how are you?
Hey, I'm good, thank you.
Good to talk to you. Thank you for coming on. Wow. Okay, we have a lot to discuss here because there's a lot to digest from that video. But first, let me ask you: you recently fought in the UFC. You recently parted ways with the UFC. What happened? What went wrong towards the end of your run in the UFC?
I dropped 4 losses in a row, so that's a lot. They gave me a chance. Um, some fighters get dropped after 1 loss, so I had some tough fights. I had some tough weight cuts. Some split decisions. It just wasn't working for me. So, I kind of expected it after my last fight with Ashley. So it wasn't really a huge surprise to me. So yeah, like it sucks. Obviously, it's not very nice getting cut and losing your job, but I'm staying confident and hopeful, about my future.
Any regrets? Anything that you wish you would have done differently towards the end?
Yeah, I wish I didn't fight my last fight at 115 against Keisha. It was a horrible weight cut. I nearly killed myself trying to make that weight. And it was just a really bad decision to go ahead with that fight. At that point, they didn't have the 125 division in yet, so I was kind of stuck. I either waited and hoped that they were going to bring it in, or I killed myself to make 115. So, I wish I had just waited. Obviously, I didn't know that they were going to bring it in the next, few months later. So, but yeah, that's one of my main regrets is taking that fight and just really the cut to 115 really messed with my performance. It was just another loss that I shouldn't have taken.
And now that they did open up 125, were you hopeful that maybe you would kind of get a clean slate and they would allow you to fight at this more natural weight for you, or did you think that maybe, for lack of a better term, like the damage was done and the losing streak was the losing streak and it was hard to stick around after that?
Yeah, I was hopeful that they would treat it as a clean slate, especially my first fight at 125. Joanne Calderwood, she pulled out, 2 weeks prior to the fight, and then I got a short notice opponent. She missed weight, and then it was a shitty decision. So I was like, okay, maybe they'll give me another chance. Maybe they'll look at all the things leading up to these losses and things like that, and give me another chance. But it's a business, it's cutthroat business. And you can't take it personally. It is what it is.
Um, I don't agree with this. I don't subscribe to this, and I know you heard it. What Ashley Evans Smith said about you not being like a good representative. You were too raunchy, I think she said. What do you make of those comments?
I she can think what she thinks. It didn't really bother me. I know the real reason why she doesn't like me, and it is what it is. But I know I'm a good role model. I know I'm a good mom. I know I'm good for this sport. I know I've led the way for Australian women MMA. So she can say what she wants. It's like water off my back.
Okay. What is the real reason why she doesn't like you?
Because she was dating Jules the Jackal, and I told her that he was a woman basher and to stay away from him and that he's going to hurt her. And she didn't like me reaching out to her about that. Me, I've been a strong advocate against domestic violence, and I've been trying my hardest to help victims or try to, help people that may get stuck in that situation. But she didn't want my help, and she took it the wrong way, I guess.
Okay. So then you part ways with the UFC, and shortly thereafter, we find out about this opportunity, Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship. How did this come about?
I woke up, it was literally the day after I found out I'd been released. I woke up to a message on my Facebook page with them reaching out to me asking if I would be interested in fighting for them. So I sent their information to my manager, and he looked into it, spoke with them, and he's like, look, it's a fight. It's suited for you. Like, it's something like this is exactly a sport that would work for you. If you want to go for it, go for it. I'm not against it. And I was like, hell yeah, I love to fight. It was, a positive thing after just being released that I could focus all my attention on. So, yeah.
So it is actual bare knuckle. Do you have any reservations about that?
No. Yeah, it's been, I just have my wrist and my thumb taped, and my knuckles are completely bare. I don't know if you've ever tried on a UFC glove before, but they are more really just for the public to think that we're protected. They
Yeah.
don't really protect that much.
Okay.
So, it protects you from superficial cuts. There's still hand injuries and things like that in MMA. So you really have to focus on how you're punching, where you're punching, your accuracy. Obviously, I'm not going to go out there and throw like a 10-punch combination as I would in boxing. I've got to be more particular in what I'm throwing and where I'm throwing it. So it's kind of cool. Like, I'm excited about that aspect of it.
This feels like somewhat of a dumb question, but also not. Do you train bare knuckle at any point?
I think it's a dumb question.
It is a dumb question, or it's not?
No, it's not. No,
Oh, okay,
we have
okay.
been doing something. We can't spar bare knuckle because we're going to hurt each other.
Yeah.
But I've been doing partner drills a lot, bare knuckle, and I've also been hitting pads and doing like hand strengthening techniques on like sandbags. It's called iron palm training. It's like a old martial arts hand strengthening routine that you do, and then you rub like these Chinese herb oils into your skin to strengthen your skin and knuckles up. So, we've
Wow.
gone real old school on this.
And as far as like the rule set is concerned, it's more akin to boxing than MMA, right? There are no takedowns or kicks allowed, correct?
Yeah, it's just boxing. It's just you're only allowed to punch with your hand. The only thing different from traditional boxing is the fact that obviously we have no gloves on, and we're allowed to work in the clinch. We're allowed to collar tie with one hand, punch with the other, and we're also allowed to overhook and punch with the other. You're not allowed to grab with two hands. You always have to be punching, otherwise the ref will separate.
Okay. And from what I understand, correct me if I'm wrong, this fight is a 5-round fight, but the rounds are 2 minutes long. Is that accurate?
Yeah, that's correct.
How do you feel? Does that change? Like the fact that it's a much shorter round for you, more rounds, but in the end you're fighting less amount of time. How do you feel about that?
Yeah, look, obviously it's a different pace with the 2 minutes. You really have to put in the work from get-go. You can't just cruise into it like you would in a 5-minute round. But, I'm always fit. I've been sparring boxing rounds with great boxers back home. So I've gotten used to the boxing pace and that kind of thing. So, yeah, it doesn't really matter to me. Like, I just like to fight. A fight's a fight to me. I don't care how long the round is, how many rounds it is. I show up and I fight.
Do you have any idea why the rounds are so short?
So I know women's boxing are always 2-minute rounds. The men's are 3-minute rounds. But I think for the bare knuckle, I think it's because they don't go for very long. A lot, like if you've ever watched the bare knuckle scene over in the UK, a lot of their fights are finished in the first round or second round because we're bare knuckle.
Yeah.
So I might have something to do with that. They don't want as much damage. I guess if you have 3 minutes to work, you're going to get more damage than you would with 2 minutes.
I'm not sure if you heard about this, but from what I was told, Wyoming, which is where this fight card is taking place, is known as the equality state, and the promoters wanted to have a female fight on this card, not because they were obliged to, but because they wanted to sort of represent what the state is all about, and that's why they made the effort to get someone like you, who's well known in the world of MMA, to be on this card, and why it's such a big deal. Have you been told that as well? And if so, could you expand on that a bit? You haven't been told that?
No, I had no idea. That's really cool, though.
Wow.
They were always keen to get me signed, and they were really excited that I was interested in it. So it makes sense. But no, I'd never heard that.
So this is what I was told. Let me pass this along because I actually thought it was really cool when I heard this. Um, Wyoming was the first state to grant women the right to vote in 1869. More precisely, women were granted the right to vote there, so there would be enough voting citizens to meet the population requirement for statehood. This action led to the nickname the suffrage state and then the equality state. And so they wanted to sort of represent that, this wasn't just a male-dominated card because it's taking place in Wyoming because they've been so progressive. So here you are representing that.
That's awesome. I had no idea that. That's really cool. This state seems obviously very relaxed in that sense. Obviously, they were the first state to sanction bare knuckle boxing, so that's really cool.
You're in Wyoming right now?
Yeah, I got in on Sunday. I always try to get in like a week before just to get acclimatized and all that.
What is Wyoming like?
It's very green. There's lots of green grass everywhere.
Okay.
There's lots of trees. I think every room I've gone into has a picture of a buffalo, and apparently that's on their state.
That's cool.
But it's been cool. Everyone's really kind and welcoming, and yeah, it's definitely different compared to where I'm from back home in Brisbane. So, but yeah, it's refreshing.
Are you still a part of Alliance MMA?
Yeah, I just haven't been back there. It's just been really hard to travel over there with my two kids. They're getting older. They're in school, and it's just been really hard to really leave them for 6 to 7 weeks at a time. So I'm still a part of Alliance, but they're cool with me training at my gym in Brisbane when it fits, especially like depending on opponents and things like that. So I'm fighting out of United Fight Team in Brisbane, Australia, and they're a great match for me. They're a great team for me. But I'm always going to be welcome back at Alliance. It's not like you've been kicked out and not allowed to go back.
Right. So I'm just curious, like, will someone like Eric Del Fiero be in your corner on Saturday, or if not, who will be in your corner?
I have a feeling Eric is coming. I know Joey Beltran's fighting on it, so he said he was going to try and make it out. He was trying to work around because he's a firefighter as well, so he should always change. Very busy man, Eric. So he said he was going to try and make it out. He's also my manager, so if he can get out here, he's going to get out here. I was messaging him last week and seeing if he was going to come out, and he said, "Oh, it's nice that someone misses me." So he's going to try and get out here. So yeah, if he makes it out, he'll definitely be in my corner. It'll be cool to have him and my two coaches cornering together.
Wait, so Joey Beltran, formerly of the UFC and Bellator, will also be fighting on this card?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't see his name in the press release. Maybe you broke some news,
I
or
think
maybe I missed it. Oh, no, there it is. There it is. Is that the same Joey Beltran though? It says 145. No, this is a
they just
mistake.
got the weights wrong on the
yes, because
list.
he's fighting Tony Lopez. That's a mistake. Yes, that is a mistake. And your weight class, what is it for this one?
It'll be 125.
125. You're fighting a lady by the name of Alma Garcia. What, if anything, do you know about her?
She's a boxer. She lives in Denver, Colorado. That's pretty much the extent that I know of her. She's got one fight on YouTube that I was able to look at, and my coach back home studied it. So there's not much really to know about her because there's not much footage or anything like that. I just know that she's a boxer and she's tough from what everyone said about her.
Okay. And now what does this mean for your MMA career? Are you hoping to continue in MMA despite this?
Yeah, look, I'm currently in talks with Invicta, so I think we're just going to wait and see how all this plays out on Saturday, obviously with injuries and things like that. But yeah, I'm definitely looking to get wins in my MMA career, and I definitely want to make it back to the UFC. This isn't something that I'm just going to give up on just because I've been released. I think going back to Invicta will be really good for me. And yeah, I told Dana White, I messaged him the other week and I told him I'll be back. So
Nice.
Yeah.
Now, the big question is, did he write you back?
Yes, he did actually. He said
Oh,
it was
wow.
a pleasure having me. Yeah, he said it was a pleasure having me and take care, and he looks forward to it. So
Okay.
yeah, we left on good.
Okay, that is good. And so, like, I mean, you've been around the fight game for a long time. You've had many fights, well over 10. Do you feel like you'll be a little more nervous heading into this one because it's actual bare knuckle? Like, do you get the sense that the nerves are different, or as you said, a fight's a fight?
No, I'm not any more nervous. Obviously there are some nerves because you're fighting in front of people and someone's trying to hurt you across the ring from you. So, but not any more nervous. Maybe a little less nervous. I think the bright lights of the UFC kind of got to me a little bit there, and I kind of went away from what I'm known for, especially my last fight. I really didn't let go as much as I should have. So, yeah, I don't know. I feel like there's no pressure. I'm just going to go out there and have fun and fight. I love fighting. So, yeah, I just try not to let any pressure or anything get to me.
Have you ever been in a bare knuckle fight?
I'll incriminate myself.
Okay. Yeah. Maybe, there's.
No, up with four siblings, and I was the youngest. So I've definitely known how to fight bare knuckle. My brother used to make me and my sister fight each other
Oh, my gosh.
when we were little, and he would pay us at the end of it.
What?
I would win. And in Australia, we have coins, and there's a 50-cent coin and there's a dollar coin. And the 50-cent coin is bigger, and I would always take the 50 cent because I thought it was more.
Oh, no. And he didn't tell you?
He would rip me off. I won.
A typical promoter, right? Ripping off his fighters.
Yeah. Yeah, so he is to blame for my fighting career now. And I tell my mum that every time she says, oh, why do you have to fight? I blame your son.
Wow. And is he aware of this as well?
Yeah, he's actually quite proud of it. He tells all his friends all the time.
Did any of your other siblings become fighters as well?
No, actually. So he owns his own business. My other sister is in the Air Force. She's a nurse. And my eldest sister is a police officer.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you're
I was
the
black sheep.
I didn't want to say it, but so you said it. And now you're fighting in bare knuckle fighting. Who would have thought? Unbelievable.
Yeah.
I'm nervous for you. I don't know if I've ever said that before to someone, but this just makes me nervous.
My coach, he said something really well the other day when someone interviewed him. He said, everyone's worried about us getting hurt, but we train every day to defend. We're trained every day not to get hit, not to get hurt. So I think people forget that. Like, they think we're just training to hurt others, but no, we're actually training to defend as well. So I'm not worried. I have faith in my boxing skills. My coach has just been amazing for me back in Australia. So we're confident with my defense and all that. So no, not scared.
All right. Well, that is good to hear. I wish you the best, Bec. This is pretty crazy stuff. This is exciting stuff. June 2nd, live on pay-per-view. It's available in both the United States and Canada on pay-per-view. Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship, one of the featured fights on the card. Bec Rawlings against Alma Garcia. 5 rounds, 2-minute fight. 2-minute rounds, I should say. It might last 2 minutes in the end. And I'm looking forward to seeing how you do. This is pretty cool. So congratulations to you on getting this opportunity. And of course, best of luck to you come Saturday night.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right. We'll talk to you soon. There she is, Rowdy Bec Rawlings, the pride of Brisbane, Australia.